will start interacting. Okay. A very good morning to one and all with me over here. Today we will take up single phase parallel circuits and hybrid circuits. So you will be given information like impedances. Like an example, two impedances 150 minus J157 ohm and 100 plus J110 ohm are connected in parallel across 200 volt 50 hertz supply. Find branch currents, total current and the total power consumed in the circuit. Draw the phasor diagram. This is a very usual script associated with the parallel circuit concept. Here we should identify. You have been given two impedance, but you should be very careful. Diagram won't be given in majority of the situation. The solutions what you find on the screen is ready to get, but the rectangle box which I have put over there, you can just see my mouse cursor. This is your script in the exam. Looking to this script, after having understood this script, you must be able to draw a rough sketch of a circuit what is shown to you here. Hope you are able to understand me. It is not the problem diagram you have to create in the majority of the problems. In some examinations, rather than telling you the text information, given you a problem as shown, find the branch current. They will not discuss the parameter with the text matter. They use a graphical representation of the problem. However, is that you must be careful to get the content. In this scenario, you have two impedances in parallel. Let us take them as let Z1 equal to 150 minus J157 ohm. So you must recall back complex mode of calculation is very natural in parallel circuits. You must be able to write in rectangular, polar. That is the activity you have to do with respect to parallel circuits. This is rectangular. Then the same thing if you convert in the polar using the calculator, when you enter this content bracket 150 minus J157 complete, put equal, you will get 150. Shift equal, you will get 157. To get rectangular to polar, what we should do? Shift plus. Then ANS R angle theta equal, you will get 217.14. Shift equal, you will get minus 46.31 in MS 991 calculators. In ES 991 calculator, it is very direct. Whatever you type here, bracket 150 minus J157, that complete. Shift to 2 you have to press there. In your ES 991 ES silver panel multi-line display, shift to 2 you have to press. You will get a panel of parameter. You want it in R plus J, R minus J, R angle theta, any possible modes will be there. The mode concerned to polar may be 2 or 3. Hit that number, automatically it will display the whole answer. So that is called advanced mode. So those who are using silver color panel, you need to practice once, you will be able to get the answer on one touch only. Shift 2, you will get to an option what kind of display you want. Choose that mode of display, use the polar in that, hit that. Now that's all. Likewise, you get Z1, Z2 represented this way. You may ask me why you have to do this way. It is necessary. Some of the teachers might have taught this in polar notation. Some of the teachers might have taught in rectangular or in mixed. When you are presenting to a general exam, better is to have both because it is going to have a benefit of your work. So first work is to represent them in a proper way. Then draw a circuit according to first branch. Let us draw Z1 equal to 150 minus J157 as one impedance. And I must ask you one more thing. Is this minus 157 plus 110, what it mean for you? So is it an inductive reactance? Is it a capacitive reactance? You must be able to understand. For that, you have to recall back. Impedance notation will be given as R plus JXL is inductive reactance. Plus J comes inductive reactance. Minus J comes, it is capacitive reactance. So they have written here resistance and a capacitor, resistance and an inductor. You did not draw like this. Even you may draw like this black box. I'll show you one forward like this. If you draw like this also, okay. ZA, ZB like this. This is called rectangle box, black box approach. For these we have been given here. You can see this answer. ZA equal to ZB equal like this way. This way also you can do, no matter. It is you to understand what is in A, what is in B. So A, B are in this way. So it need not be like this. You need not do this way. You can just draw a rectangle box here. Rectangle box here is called black box approach. Give the parameter for that. Okay. Then now look to the representation. When they are in parallel, the voltage across them must be same. Then you have 200 volt, 50 hertz applied to the ends of that. Branch 1, branch 2, if I call them, then applied voltage across them is 200 volt, 50 hertz. Then when you have a parallel circuit, what is that you get as a steady division of current? Suppose main current is said to be I ampere entering the combination, some part of the current will flow through Z1 impedance, rest will go to Z2. What is that magnitude? We have to numerically find it out. So that is a task which is assigned to us. Therefore, give a brief prerequisites. Suppose Z1, let us mark I1. Suppose Z2, I2. I1 plus I2 become I for my representation. Then all the parameter you have given to the circuit attributed. Then comes to Ohm's law. Suppose if we have this branch 1, what is the voltage across this whole branch? 200. What is the voltage across this branch? 200. So if I know applied voltage across the branch, impedance of the branch, can I not get I1? Similarly I2, you can see here I1 is E divided by Z1 using Ohm's law, but in complex mode. It is not simple DC circuit, it is a complex because frequency dependent components, capacitor, inductors are there. It is a complex. Therefore, E by Z1. E is 200. I can write it as a 200 angle 0 bracket divided by Z1. So can you see here? I may substitute this. I may substitute this. According to that, I have to use proper number of brackets in the complex mode of the calculator. You have to function. So I have given you a separate understanding of complex quantities as a PPT, and I have shared my video also. So kindly practice that. That will surely help you when you go to your final year, fifth sem or sixth sem. You will be learning. You being electronics, you will be learning the what is propagation and waveguides. There again, complex domain, impedance, admittance, or such complex quantities you will learn there again. For that, this is a foundation to remember them. So therefore, put them in a polar form or rectangular form, get the answer. So default calculator will give you in rectangular form like this way. When I equal first time, this will give shift equal, it will this mean. Then if I press shift plus, it will ask me ANS or angle theta. Equal you press, it will show me 0.921. Shift equal 46.31. So hope you have practiced this. If not, also not a matter. Please do it, because without this you cannot complete. How can you get this answer by heart without having done it? You cannot do it. Therefore, practice is necessary. So in the complex mode, take this division, get the answer in plain rectangular first. Shift plus, then you'll get in polar. Please put them. That become current flowing through one of the impedance Z1. What about the current through other? Same as V by Z2. We can see here E by Z2. So I'll be getting rectangular. I'll be getting polar. It's very simple problem. Like to DC circuit, how we did V by R1, V by R2 like that. Same way we are doing it Z1, Z2. Then what is total current I1 plus I2. When you are adding it up, it is a complex addition. You should be very careful. Whenever J or I operator appear, it is a complex thing you are doing. Or you are doing vectorial addition. Therefore, add them, get the resultant. Resultant stand as 1.541 minus J 0.329 ampere, or in rectangular to polar, this is total power factor or angle, cosine of the angle between voltage applied and current resulted. Between the vector V and I, what is the angle? Cos of that. If I multiply with the V and I will be getting total power consumed by the circuit. You can see here EI cos phi, 200 into total current is 1.576 into cos of angle between the voltage and total current. Now I'll come to know what is the voltage of the particular voltage vector. 200 angle 0, nothing is given. Cos of 0 minus the angle associated with the current, 12.05. 0 minus 12.05, naturally there is a minus cos or a plus cos. Cosine term will make it positive. So it is angle of the main current. If I take into account cos by mode, that will turn in as a power factor. So that will do 308.26 watt. Then if it is asked as a reactive power, how would I have done it? EI sin phi. In the cos position you have to use sin phi. That's that. Apparent power, if it is asked, use just E into I. That's all. No cos phi, no sin phi. That is called apparent power. Yesterday we have seen. This was what we have seen. Apparent power, active power, reactive power. VI cos phi, VI sin phi. So we have to use it systematically like that. Then what is this phasor diagram? In a parallel circuit concept, it is natural to ask you draw the phasor diagram. Then it is simply represent where is that vector representing I1 like this way. Suppose you just draw a complex plane, horizontal axis, vertical axis. Then measure the approximate length of 0.921 at an angle 46.31. You can see if this is a horizontal axis, above this by an angle 46.31, certain magnitude. What is the magnitude? 0.921. Some certain magnitude, you just draw a line representing a vector I1. Similarly, vector I2, 1.345 minus 47 below this axis. Correct? Can you see here? Then take this resultant, these two parallelogram of forces, you just join them. That resultant is total current I. You know it, we have added already. Mathematically you have done it. What is the answer for that? 1.576 angle minus 12.05. It means resultant vector is below the reference axis by an angle 12.05. This is the vector diagram. This kind of work is required. What is the great work here? You have to just remember I1 in the form of polar magnitude angle to draw this. Correct? Then I2 magnitude angle, draw it and make the resultant of that vectorial resultant. Then that magnitude, you know, when you add in the calculator, it is readily available. Just you mention the values in a proper position and close the task. This is about the simple parallel circuit one can work upon. Such several problems you can find in the study. Let us move to the next problem. Can you see this problem? You have been given text. Two circuits A and B connected in parallel across 200. You should not see the circuit immediately because circuit is the one you have to develop after understanding. Correct? Then circuit considered A 10 ohm resistance, 0.12 Henry inductance in first arm. Circuit B consists of 20 ohm resistance and series with 40 microfarad capacitance. You have been given two branch 1, branch 2 with the data. Calculate current in each branch, supply current, total power factor, then draw the phasor diagram. Is it the same work we have done in the previous problem? Exactly similar work we have done. Correct? Now you have not been given inductive reactance, capacitive reactance as a XL, XC. They are given parameters. Here what they have given? XL, XC. XC, XL were given directly. It was easier for you. One step was easier. But here XL you have to get. XC you have to get. That's what is that. XL is 2 pi FL. 2 pi into 50 into L. Get it? Get the value of ZA. Because it is drawn like this way. They call this as a first arm ZA, second arm ZB, current IA, current IB, total current I. So this is given by author. You may give Z1 here, you can exchange it. So there is no worry about that. Okay, if they have given a diagram, don't change at that time because that is expecting something specific. So therefore, when you have impedance of the first arm 10 ohm and XL, got it here 37.7. So I can write here ZA equal 10 plus J 37. But J plus J means inductive reactance, minus J means capacitive reactance. Okay, so you can express it in the polar. Similarly, XC 1 by 2 pi FC, get the value. Then ZB is 20 minus this value 79.58. So put it in a rectangular form. Then you can mention it in the polar form also. This is how you can do very easily. So if you know ZA, ZB, getting IA, IB is just applying Ohm's law in a complex notation. E by ZA, put in a complex mode. You should be very careful. I can tell you, even directly this you operate in a calculator, you may get error. You have to use a proper number of brackets and make it systematic. Then only you will be able to reach the answers. First time you will get rectangular answer. Shift plus, get polar, write it. Like that, both the answers you mention. For me, it is advisable both rectangular and polar you put on the paper. Examiner, let he choose it, which is he is expected, so that you will get the credit of your good marks. Similarly, IB is E divided by ZB. You can see here. No great work I am doing. Whatever the work I have presented here, similar work I am trying to quantify here with a different data. Then I will be getting IB. And what is I here now? IA plus IB. Just see here. Don't add simply 5.17 and 2.13 a magnitude. 75.14, 79.3. Don't add visually and by calculator arithmetically. That is a vectorial addition. Be my friends. Don't simply do a wrong work. 5.13 plus 2.43. Can it be equal to this answer? Definitely it won't be same. You can see here 5.13, 2 point. It becomes 7 for you. Gross mathematics. Is it 7 here? It's 5.13. It's wrong, no? Don't do that. So you do this calculation only in calculator, complex mode only. You may do it in rectangular. Rectangular, real you can add. J you can add. But in polar, it is not so easy. That is my request. Do it in calculators only. Therefore, it is a vectorial addition we have to do. So hope you are understanding me carefully. You add them vectorially, you get the result. Can you see here? Copy correct is possible both in rectangular and polar. What is your next diagram? Draw the phasor representation. What is the phasor representation? IA, magnitude, angle. We just draw 0 axis and minus, and IB plus, draw it. Then take the resultant of that. Just conclude graphically for your justification. This is having a marks because it is asked whether you know the representation of the phasor, because they are not only the magnitude and angle, they are rotating. Hence we call phasor. Invariably, many book and many people refer it as a vector, as a static. When you observe static, it becomes a vector. When it is dynamically thought, moving, that's a phasor, like that. Okay, no matter, you need to remember how to present it graphically. Then here I stopped. What is this? Power factor I wanted to understand. What is power factor here? Anybody remember? Power factor is the cosine of the angle between applied voltage and total current resulted. Or if I know the total current flowing to the circuit I, angle with which it is there. What is the angle? I equal to having 3.23 angle 53.7 minus. Cos of this you just hit. That's the end. Cos of the angle associated with the total current in the circuit is the power factor of the total circuit. Suppose you are interested to know power factor of the branch 1. What I should do? Angle associated with the current IA. I show you here. What is IA here? Minus 75.14. This angle cos, if I operate, that become power factor of the branch 1. Suppose power factor of the branch 2 you want. IB you catch. What is IB? 75.93 angle. Cos of this is power factor of the second branch. Power factor total circuit is total currents angle, like this way. Hope I made the logic very clear to you. This way you need to work carefully. Similarly, I'll move with some other problems. Can you see one more problem I have posed to you? A 60 ohm resistor is connected in parallel with an inductive reactance of 80 ohm. You have only R and L in parallel. I think it's very easier problem. We can see connected to 240 volt 50 hertz supply. Calculate the current through the resistor and inductance, total current, supply current, and the circuit phase angle. Draw the phasor diagram. You can see marks also there. 4 marks were mentioned for that problem. So it's very easy. You can just check the problem. Draw the circuit, one R and L in parallel to a source of 240 50 hertz. Then mark the total current I1, I2, whatever is shown in the problem. Then using the parallel circuit concept, V by first branch data. V by means 240 divided by 60 is the first current. 240 divided by J80. You must be very careful here. It is not simply 80. It is 0 plus J80. What is the impedance of this? Impedance of this resistance is 0. 0 plus J80. Here it is 60 plus J0. There is nothing is there in the reactive term here. Therefore, J is vanished here. But here, real is vanished. J is there. So therefore, take them in a proper manner and get the value of current. Then total current is add these two. That is your total current. Put it in rectangular and in polar. Then what is the next angle? Supply current is got. Circuit phase angle. I said circuit phase angle means what now? V and I angle. It is there with the I. What is the angle there with the total current I here? 36.87 minus lagging. Just mention this angle lagging. Now how to draw this vector diagram? You know this. 4 ampere horizontal. J minus 3. Now you remember what is J? J is the complex operator on whose operation with the quantity shift that by 90 degree. Minus J means downward 90 degree. Plus J means upward 90 degree. So it is minus J3 means vertical side, minus side, down side 3 you have to mark, unit 3. Then join this with the origin. That become your total current 5. And angle of how much? 36.87 lagging below the reference. Very simple, we have to do it. Now here is something mixed one. You can see here a capacitor of 50 microfarad shunted across non-inductive resistance parallel. 50 microfarad is parallel with the non-inductive resistance 100 ohm. Means 50 microfarad 100 ohm are 1-to-1 parallel. That's the meaning of that. And is connected in series. This combination is in series with another resistor 50 ohm and to a 200 volt 50 hertz supply. Find circuit current, power factor of the circuit. So you have to read line by line and word by word. A capacitor 50 microfarad shunted across non-inductive resistance put in parallel with the 100 ohm first. That combination is in series with the 50 ohm. That is how you have to draw the circuit line by line or word by word after reading. Then draw it, conclude it. Now total current you want to find out. Now how you find these two elements? Parallel. So you have to find out the equivalent of this. Then you have to find a series combination. V divided by total equivalent impedance give you total current. That is your task. Then what I will be doing? What is XC? Capacitor reactance I calculate 1 by 2 pi FC. Then this 63.66 ohm is in parallel with the 100 ohm. What I will do? 100 ohm parallel. This is called double pipeline. Double pipe, nothing but parallel with 50 microfarad. What is the value of that? 63.6. It means 0 minus J 63.6. That's called minus J 63.6. 0 is vanished here. 0 minus J 63.66. You have to write here. This into this divided by first and second sum. You can see here. 100 into 63.66 minus J divided by sum of these two. This is nothing but getting the parallel combination equivalent. That you add with the 50. We can see. Once I take this parallel combination, this is the answer. This is in series with what? 50 ohm. You can see 57.7 angle minus 57.52 plus 50. It is in polar. It is in only 50 real. So convert. Don't add manually. You have to add it in the calculator complex mode. You shall not forget the complex mode. If you leave the complex mode, you have lost. Your time is waste. and you will not get any benefit out of your work. Therefore, you should be serious about what you are doing. It is in complex mode only you are working. Then when I add it and simplify, what is the final impedance of circuit? 90.93 angle 29.88 lagging. This is the resultant impedance of the circuit. Like this. Then what is that total current flowing here? When I got this impedance total, V by Z, nothing but current 200 angle 0, because nothing is given, angle 0 divided by impedance, give me total current. Then power factor of the circuit, how do I measure? Total voltage I know, total current I know, current's angle, total current's angle, cos is the power factor. You can see 29.88 cos, give me the answer. So simple. So earlier, even if I have a capacitor or resistor or inductor, capacitor, anything, you must be able to do it step by step easily in individual way. Then you are able to get it. They are very simple problem. I tell you, my friends, if you get a parallel circuit problem, you are lucky enough, because this is the kind of work you expect from you. That is how, if you know once, twice, no way you are going out of your requirement. Okay. Similarly, I have another problem. You have been given a series parallel circuit, two parallel branches A and B are series with the third branch C. They call them as branch A, branch B, branch C. A, B are in parallel. Combination is in series with C. Given you ZA, ZB, ZC. Then they have mentioned something different. They have not given you a total voltage across the circuit. They have given you the voltage across the branch C is 100. Find the current in branch IA, IB in the and the phase difference. So what is given according to this? If I draw ZA, ZB combination, this is in series with the ZC. Yes, voltage across the ZC or third branch is 100. Only this voltage across ZC is 100. It is not the total voltage. Voltage across only ZC, this much. And what is asked to me? IA, IB. Suppose ZA, IA, ZB, IB, and ZC, I can call as a ZC, IC or total current, because it's the same. What it enter, it divides, it again become a single and go out. Therefore, it is I can write, or IC I can write. So given you ZA, ZB, convert them to polar for easiness. Then everything is given. ZA, ZB is given, ZC is given. Then here something is noticed here. What is the current total flowing through this ZC? If you have Ohm's law applied, voltage across this branch is 100. Impedance of this branch is 3 plus J2. If I take this ratio, what I'm going to get? V by Z is I. Is it not the current flowing out of this? Is it not the current going out as well as entering from this side? Because from the left hand, what is entering is combination of these two. From this part plus this part become incoming current. That is the one going out. Nothing but for these two in parallel, what is the entering current is? The current which has gone out here is the current entering. Some part go here, rest go here. Again they become joined here, enter this. So you are going very much a reverse approach. So if you know current flowing through ZC, it is the current flowing in IA, IB together in partial. IA plus IB, if I add, that is the current flowing through this, which you can get 100 divided by this ZC means I. This I is known as IA plus IB, but I don't know what is IA, what is IB. But I know total, I know as a I. It is my task now. If I know the total current, what is IIB? It is a current division. Recall back DC circuit you have done. Current division. IA is I Z2 divided by Z1 plus Z2, like a combination we have done. The same thing we will do here. Look into this. I equal to 100 divided by 3 plus 2 J2. I can get the total current. Then current through this branch is total current. What is entering here, not leaving here? I into opposite impedance, I into ZB divided by ZA plus ZB. You can see this equation what I am reading here. Same equation, correct? I into ZB divided by ZA plus ZB. How you got this number? It is here. So ZA is there, ZB is there, ZC is there. Can you see here? ZA plus Z, one extra step already done here. I skipped this because I will be in confusion if I read it for you that time. Now you know the denominator I want ZA plus ZB. Rather than doing here, it is done advance. ZA plus ZB means add these two. That is readily available as a data here. That I place in the denominator. Main current into opposite arm impedance divided by sum of the impedances in parallel. That give me current in both rectangular and polar. Here rectangular value is not shown. I suggest you must do without fail rectangular writing and polar answer writing without fail. Similarly, IB you want. Now you have a choice. IB nothing but I minus the current of IA. You can get IB. You can do, or else you may do like this only. IB equal to I main current ZA divided by ZA plus ZB. We can use this. If you use this again like this only, you can get it. You can do like this. You got IA, you got IB. Now what is asked there? Find current IIB and phase difference between them. Angle of IA, angle of IB, difference you want to take. What is the meaning of this? I take you back to the circuit. It is I1 example. It is I2. The angular difference between these two is asked. I1 is above this example in this problem. I2 is lower to the reference. Certain angle 46.3 and 47.73. What is total angle spread here? This total we have to sum up. Am I right or not? 46.31 plus 47.7, nothing but total angle here. You will be knowing it graphically, but here you are not shown graphically. It is said to you angular difference. How we are going to do it? See here, you have 34.43. You have 39.95. Both are lagging. Both are lagging. Relative difference between these two, 39.95 and 34.43. What is the relative difference between these two? 5.52 degree. That's what you have to do. So no doubt both the values are having minus and minus here. So this you need to represent carefully. So you have to be very careful about the approach. Okay, this is another problem you can find. Similarly, I have another arrangement. You can see some diagram. This diagram is given directly. You can see in the arrangement shown below. Calculate the impedance across AB and phase angle between voltage and current. I was speaking to you all. Sometimes problem image will be given to you. You are lucky enough at that time. It is one of the 6 marks problem. See the work written below there. It is just about 5 lines, not 6 lines. If you do it on your paper, it may stretch about half of your VTU write-up page. But no matter, your quantity and quality of work matter there. Okay. Therefore, you have 2 impedances in parallel and 1 impedance in series between point A and B. They are asking us to calculate what is net impedance between AB. How do you do it? You have to calculate parallel impedance into equivalent value. Then take the series combination with the remaining one. That is your final work. You can see is being done. They marked this as Z1, Z2. So Z1 parallel Z2, Z1, Z2 over Z1 plus Z2. But be sure you are doing in a complex mode. All these things were put in the complex mode and you will be getting final answer as Z equivalent, which is in series with 5 minus J2. We can see minus 2 plus J, minus 2 plus 5, minus 2J plus 5. That is your final impedance. Correct? Then what is the phase angle between the voltage and current? I said in the earlier problem, phase angle between applied voltage and current is the power factor angle. That you will find through the total impedance or total current. So what is the total impedance available? 9.15, 17.41. So this value will get attributed to the current. How do you come to know this? That will be go back. How do you get this current here? V divided by Z. Correct? No? V divided by Z. When you convert V divided by Z, there is a value of angle here. This angle become in the numerator. That is minus 37.43. That is what I am speaking. This will be the current's angle, or it is indirectly available in the impedance complex representation. For me, in this case, I don't have voltage, correct? Voltage is not given. Current is not given. Then what I know? Impedance I know. Is it not the impedance? If I take current, V divided by Z, is it not a Z reflect this value to the numerator? Hence, this is the angle of the power factor. We have to understand. Correct? This way, problem we have to understand carefully. So this is another problem. So I was speaking about rectangle boxes is called as a black box approach. It is a similar, I feel. It is very similar. 10 plus 10 minus J8, 9 minus J6, 3 plus J2 ohm are connected in parallel. Like this problem only. Correct? 10 plus J, 7 minus 7 plus J9, 5 minus J2. This is the problem given you as a pictorial view. Similar problem. You have two impedances having negative capacitive reactance. Then you have here inductive reactance plus J2. Voltage across this branch only given as 100. Said you to calculate IA, IB and shown circuit. I don't think you will find a difficulty now because similar problem we understood just in the previous pages. Okay, applied voltage across the C branch is known, impedance of the C branch is known. I can get the current IC, 100 divided by ZC, give me IC. That is the total current coming from IA part, IB part. So to get IA, IB, use IC into ZB divided by ZA plus ZB, which is here. I am speaking about here only. IC into ZB divided by ZA plus ZB. That is the current coming from upper arm. This is IC minus IA. See here, they have done it alternatively here. IB equal to IC minus IA, which I was speaking in the last step. Or else IB is IC into ZA divided by ZA plus ZB. I can do this kind of formula or take vectorial difference. IC minus IA is IB. You can still do it. So this way, it's very easy to go ahead with the parallel circuit problems. So my friends, already this page is being shared to you. Such few problems are there with you with the PDF I have shared. Kindly go through, and materials that you have collected from internet, collected from a textbook resource, what you have with you, kindly view and get confidence out of that. Next, moving to similar one, you have similar two impedances in parallel, I1, I2, total, draw. This work repeats. You have seen me about 4 to 5 problems we have seen. Is it really repeating kind of what you are finding or not? Definitely you are finding. Numerically it is different, but the action, what we are doing, is it not the same? Absolutely same. A minor change you will get according to the type of the problem. So therefore, you practice little, then you will be having higher confidence in solving any kind of parallel or a parallel cum series mixed circuit. We call it a hybrid circuit also. So you should be able to do it. Then moving to the last problem here. This problem I think you have already seen. Given you a discrete instantaneous value of a varying current wave, get its RMS current, gets its average value, gets its form factor, peak factor, etc. Given you instantaneous values. So from the 0 you have to begin. Before the next 0 you stop. You count it as 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So you have taken complete cycle, but they have taken how much? Half cycle. 0, 1, mean 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, because there is a 0 here. So stop here. 0, you begin. Next 0, whenever it comes, stop. Before that, count them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 numbers we have taken. Square them, add them, divide by 6 under the root. That is RMS. Add them directly, divided by 6, average. Then form factor, how do you do it? Calculation of RMS to the average. You can take. Simple problem I have picked here. Okay. Next, this is another variety of problem, like your potential of a point in an electric circuit. In case of DC circuit, you have learned VAB, VXY, VXZ, MZ. Some problems we have done. Hope you remember. I have shared that PPT also with you, some samples guidelines also. Similar to that, in the AC circuit, we have complex voltage sources. Can you see here? some circuit nodes 1, 2, 3, 4. Some drawing is written here. Then some source voltage is mentioned in between the vertices between 2 and 4 VC, between 1 and 4 VA, between 1 and 3 VB, VA, like that. Some sources were mentioned with some orientation, plus, minus, left or right of that. So that is what is given. And you have been given 3 voltages are connected as shown in the figure. So figure is also given and values are also given in this problem. If VA, this voltage source value is 17.32 plus J10 volt, this is in rectangular. The another is VB here. VB is 30 degree and 30 angle 80 degree. It is in polar form. And VC is again given as 15 angle minus 100 volt. These are the complex voltage sources connected in certain fashion. You are set to calculate potential V12, potential of 1 with respect to 2, potential of 0.1 with respect to 2. So how to do it? Look at the potential points. How is that potential point? 1 is here. Where is 2? 2 is here. Correct? So potential of 1, potential of 2, you have to take a difference. How do you do? Look into this work here. V12. How I begin? V12 I want to identify. To start with this, what is my work? I have to start from second point. Start from 2, move towards 1. Let's see. 2 is here. I should go like this. Look to my cursor and stop here. Hope you got it. From 2 you begin, take a journey, stop. When you take a journey, what was your point? Minus, plus. Minus, plus is your approach what you have done in DC circuit. Hope you remember this. I remember this. You too will be remembering this process. That similar pattern you remember. So what I will do? From begin from point number 2, identify the path source. If it is already default minus, plus, like that, you keep adding them. If any one of the source is not following your sequence in your mental space, imagine that is minus plus, but it is not originally. When you assume it as a minus plus, one correction of minus to that source you have to do. Then go ahead like that way. So you can see here minus VC. VC is not having minus plus as per your requirement. It is opposite to you. Hence what we'll do? From this point, I expect a minus, I expect a plus. Minus, plus, it is there. It is not here in that way. Then you simulate in your mind as good. It is minus here, plus here. When you simulate, this voltage source need one minus compensation. That is shown here. Minus VC. Then another source is minus plus as usual, plus VB. It means VB minus VC is the net voltage between 1 and 2. So just place them in the bracket. What is VB for you? 30 angle 80. Minus what is VC for you? 15 angle minus 100. Take complex difference. This is just to test you complex arithmetic. That's all. Addition, subtraction, whatever we're doing. So complex things. So just take them and get the answer. Similarly, what is V23? Potential of 0.2 with respect to 3. Now you have to check here. 3 is here, this top vertex. 2 is at the right side. From here you start a journey. When you start a journey, so 3 towards 1 minus plus. Okay, VA is okay. Then 1 towards 4. You are expecting minus plus. It is not there. Then it is minus VB. Then here to here minus plus. It is already there. VC is correct. It means 3 towards 1 VA is okay. 1 towards 4 VB need to be negative, and 4 towards 2 VC is correct. You can see here VC as usual, VA as usual, only VB is negative. It is what is expected here. Yes or no? VA minus VB plus VC. VA minus VB plus VC. That is the voltage between 0.2 and 3. You did it. So put them the respective position values VC, VB, VA as usually put them. Then use the calculator in the complex mode. Complete it. Put the answer in rectangular and polar. But I did not told you here. Write the answer both rectangular as well as polar. That's the end of V23. Similarly, 3 to 4. You have to identify. From 4 to take a journey towards 3. Potential of point 3 with respect to point number 4 or node number 4. Where is 3 and 4? You can just check. 3 is here, 4 is here. So you should take a journey from 4 like this, go to 1 and 1 back to 3. This is your path. When you take the journey 4 to 1, it is minus plus VB is acceptable as usual. And here when you come to 1 to 3, this is not in your requirement. Minus plus is not there, then minus VA. It is 4 to 3 when you are taking journey for this, VB minus VA. You can see minus VA, correct, plus VB. Minus VA plus VB. When you take a minus here, just here minus inside the bracket VA. It is not only first term negative, whole is negative. Minus outside the content inside. Then do it. That's how you can do it. Now you please practice this yourself with a different value. You only give some different values for this. Automatically, according to the sign convention, you start practicing this. This way, you can think of practicing this also. So this way, you have to start working upon the complex calculations. So again, I have one simple example. Given you two impedances Z1, Z2 to a certain 12 volt. So find the total impedance of these two. Z1 is given, Z2 is given. Then the phase angle, total power factor angle, you have to find out. V divided by Z1, I1 you will get. V divided by Z2, I2 you will get. Add these two, it will become I. Angle with respect to I is the power factor angle. Total current is nothing but add I1, I2. Then you have been another problem. Impedances given to you. Branch currents, suppose you may call I1, I2. Then total current, sum of these two. Power consumed by each branch. Here is the catch. Power consumed by total branch is what? V I cos phi. You can do from the power input side. How you can do from the power absorbed by branch 1, branch 2? To do that, we have two options. One is I square R logic. Suppose you know I1. I1 in polar form. The magnitude, what you will be getting? Certain magnitude and angle. Magnitude square into resistance. That is I1 square into R1. That is the power. Similarly for I2. I2 current you put in polar form. Magnitude of that you use as a current square. I2 square into 40. That is the power consumed. Add these two. That becomes total power. Otherwise, if you know current flowing through this, if you know voltage across this, you know it. What is the voltage across the branch? 200. Both of them are put in parallel. Voltage across the branch is 200. Current flowing through that. Polar representation when you do for the current, magnitude will be there. V, I, and angle of that I1, cos of that. That becomes VI cos phi. Concept for the power consumption. Still you can do that. So you can use VI cos phi concept. I1, angle of I1 in cos domain you have to use. And for the I2 also, mention it in polar. I2, angle of that cos domain multiplied with the 200. That give P2. You have two ways to do the computation of power. Either I square R logic or VI cos phi logic. So that's what is total consumed power. So hope I had given you a sufficient instruction for this problem. You are able to do it. Okay. So by this way, we have come to the